So this is my Viva Street account where I were publishing what my granny said it to me and one TV, which is exactly that one that we have since so long ago, and also this, which is my account for the corporation, expecting I to have my portability that at the fair I couldn't send what I needed, and I just took back my Google Pack until I could, until I just had, but for a reality that I'm going to explain. Always this to be understood. How can possibly, how may possibly, which account of the back. So suddenly all through the situation, how possibly I would, and how possibly I'll keep, and how I'll transige this. You know, I am in the middle of a very hole which were digged to the burying me and pretended to taking from me my existence, as best pretending substance, reality, existence, and everything I exist as person, as being, for the delusional character and delirious of a demon class called Argentina. KIRSCHNERS, Ejército Argentino, Armada Argentina, Fuerzas Armadas Argentinas, United Evangelics, and telling that they has rights to be me and to do however they says. This is exactly the class of things that I'm gonna allow ever, and it's exactly the class of things I'm gonna put in the hell. And not only for the reason of understanding I have rights to be, and for what there's to doing, but actually at the clear fact of what this means about who is whom and what is what. So suddenly, in the middle of this all, it's so impossible to me with a clear element for us this, how cold, just simply having an instant to focus and simply getting clear at the reality of mine. Telling you, it were destroyed my browser at the CVIMT, I had to reinstalling the whole of the engine of my Chrome, but Policía Federal Argentina, SIDE, and Evangelistas Unidos, and UCA, Universidad Católica Argentina. Also, UTN, Universidad Tecnológica Nacional, involved in this with KIRSCHNERS, Somos Amigos de la Presidenta, and Telecentro Sociedad Anónima. At the coverage, at the accomplices being, and at the producing and promoting more damages, the same does to my Android still. And saying that what I'm saying now and what I'm doing will be robbed by Teller Chad, and also they will do first. At the reality of this, to tell you what this is, my certificates that I had of Google, which were actually the same corporation put it at my browser for I to keep on doing with lies in office, were taken off by Policía Federal Argentina and the Perros Degenerados, I don't first, and it's me not him, for the saying that them accounts, while evangelistas of Guillermo Horacio Brain try to keep on saying that my accounts will belong to them and everything I've done as intellectual property, as identity, as person I exist, which it is property also a patrimony of Israel, which keeps on harassing for the trend of genociding, trying to say that it's them, and they could keep. instigating for more or less humanity and murder, over cycles and abominables, to saying that they has rights to defense and with a witch, with them and with rape and murder to my people, saying that belongs to them and I don't bend. Saying that I should regret about everything that I done to them and I should resign to being who I am. And all through, there's two same Evangelistas Unidos to preventing me like witches, and saying that has rights of everyone but victims. Diablo of the Guarda. So in the middle of the soul, I have been through this, while yesterday I should be kidnapped for supposed internations, but went for France. Supposedly yesterday, through a riot, I'm feeling miserable, I'm feeling destroyed, I'm feeling in a level of denigration that it will be really difficult. I to proceed into making no other, but even though it will be exactly the cultivation for the holy needed. I were at the edge to being invaded at my place, saying that everything were dance, my computer and everything I were doing, and the accounts of mine will be dance, and Sodoma-GOMORRA, perros degenerados, Policía Federal Argentina, saying, don't you see, it doesn't work to them. He doesn't know, and he never done. Because of I couldn't making work my browser, because of they destroyed it, like they have done permanently with the whole I got, not only software, but devices and whatever to be, forging and switching and having each as the whole I do, saying that it were them all the time and they would done to me here. While murdering and destroying people all around and saying, because of I've spoken, and saying, you better come to the beside of the collector of Ciudad Universitaria, Núñez neighborhood, right the bus side of that speedway called to go to looking for and blow up because of we are going to kill them all. And I will be delivering now, and if I don't come to in front of the embassy of US Buenos Aires to blow up any degenerado perro enfermo to be in front, saying for the United States of America to learn that I will be a fag, and they will be the machos to respect. Kidding me, degenerados de mierda. Creídos de señores, Argentina perra, con el perdón de víctimas. And all through this, while it keeps on attacking and destroying people, and I just have been taking nap because of I needed a rest and I was sleepy. And started making more witchcraft and profanation, saying that they had rights to be me, and taking my person to the raping and murdering, saying that they have rights of ethnics and sciences. 4. Sodoma-Gomorrha. And in the middle of this reality kept the same old, making the same, but yesterday I made a disaster. Where some elements for terrorism, like still today, pretends to making. People kidnapped and raping, families complete raping, and I took the whole away but 5004, and the 5004 I took right for a few hours ago, but went for more. In the reality of this, I started sending flights all over and trying to make the claim and demand and invasive and organizing and recruiting and telling what to do, supposed government of the world, to the States, causing more than generations. And all through this soul and for the facts kept on making disasters and destructions to me, for they saying that it has rights and will control the world. And domaining the world and commanding in the world. So, we are going to command in the world and nobody can say a word. They will done all I done and they will be all I am. And they will exist all I exist and they will be kingdom of heaven in base of doing to me what they do and raping our people. Who is the wagon? Who is the delusional? And degenerados KIRSCHNERS soul. Oh, but he delires all the time and this is all delusional. We cannot let it be. and robbing to me what liaison officer sent to me again. Telling, this is not a work ball administration day. You cannot send nothing and we cannot respond at this day for whatever you send. But actually we're protocoler at my door directly, Federal Express from the United States of America with personal documentation of I, citizen of US, I, American. But same government of United States of America, called diplomat of United Nations, International Criminal Court, War and Anti-Terrorism Council, United Nations, and Interpol. And I, Israeli, with documentations of Israel to at my door, and the person sent protocoler with Interpol had to putting in the way 8,000 degenerados dead and couldn't even reach out and had to leave. And supposedly that to be terrorism. Of course. And attempting against the government. 8,000 degenerados, Fuerzas Armadas y KIRSCHNERS y Evangelistas Unidos, in the hell, in the way, and couldn't even approach to my door. And if I try to approach myself, goes to murder people everywhere and making disasters. And this is not a joke. Neither less delusional or delirious. Less. So all through this, yesterday, I just done what I've done. And I walked around. And I went to Action place, which is Rivadavia Avenue intersection. What is this? Cervantes Street, near Bahia Blanca. Here at the neighborhood near of here, Floresta. And suddenly, Floresta Place trying to make networks with my laptop, and I couldn't even make it. So I had to download the whole certificating, installing the new certificating while I discovered what were happening to my computer, reinstalling Google Chrome browser, and bringing again the whole of the DRMC census and actualizing, putting the whole the generations that they needed inside my laptop, saying, it cannot be said that this one is doing what he said, and the Klechma Plechibisot, he meant the lie, because of is actually what we are showing again, that he started hacking and taking our software. I were linking directly with Microsoft, and Microsoft working with your runners from license office from New York City, direct to my computer. And Telecentro Degenerados in a DRM multiple PI main board over my user service for every perra degenerada of this UNASUR perrada sucia to having the share and saying, that's not me. The same with Claro Argentina. My number. 20,804,204 degenerados y criminales in the whole of the Latin America. But Claro, Argentina, having this my number, saying, each other states can. No, they cannot. And here only are 5,908,108. And seriously, 208. 5,809,208 with a different DRM PIN SIM card. Claro, Argentina, with my same number that Google recognizes mine. CCAPLEV X CTI Corporation Buenos Aires, whenever they were around, hired by my grandmother aunt, Elvira Ballester, DNI given by Raúl Alfonsín, president, during administration for supposedly an end the militaries Argentina, my granny Marta Redemi called Elvira Ballester 18,573,465 decased for about a couple of months ago, 3-2. And supposedly I will murder, and supposedly will be exhumations that never happened. So in the middle of the soul, she signated herself in Claro, Argentina, customers store, Flores, Rivadavia Avenue, and Artigas Street intersection at the corner. Herself in front of cameras with a very Interpol's and United States of America, Israel State, Justice and States Bodies, United Nations, file, video and sound with, while the one DNI 27,270,604, which also identity were presented and the person murdered, made them the submittings and never gave me no paper and saying, oh, it's okay, don't you worry. And after asking they to give me some documentation where affordably corporation like that will ever defining and determining an emplacement for warranty, the line were mine and saying, oh, call the responsible. And the responsible already were signating and saying we're mine. And saying that this phone also will be robbed. And there will be only for justice. Liars! We only hear President of Argentina. And saying, release the line and don't you dare to say nothing and don't you dare to say that the line will be robbed or belongs to no one of this. We are friends of the President and we are going to do what President says. President is dead, and there were no president neither, and your bodies as well. And laughing, saying, ah, the liars, monigote degenerado, las huellas digitales no se cambian. Perrazos enfermos. So in the middle of the soul, kreve fechlakama reve fechlivas, wable vesicha matlechnian sevan. And in the middle of the soul, Perrazos de Cuarta keeps on staging, saying that they are going to take the world. So needs the whole of the puzzle faces at the shape and at the stage, no matter if it is or not, but we can do it. We were not them. For them to take the world. Circo de degenerados, Perrazos enfermos, psicópatas, keeps on kidnapping people and massively raping and forging and making up supposed Estado Nacional de la República Argentina, ley nacional, y nosotros sabemos que se lo robó todo, y se lo robó a las chicas y los chicos de las Fuerzas Armadas y de la Policía Federal y los Evangelistas Unidos, y los chicos de la Presidenta. Por supuesto que no tiene capacidades, y no se les permitió nada, no les permitimos porque somos nosotros, y nos pertenece su ser y su existencia, por siempre y siempre fue, desde siempre que tenemos a su vida y a sus cuentas. No puede ser, nosotros no le dejamos ser, si vamos a mandar en todo el mundo, ¿no te das cuenta? Vamos a internarlo porque no puede estar sin medicación. Esta persona no puede estar robando. No se le permitió, no se le dio derechos. And I will be in jail and blow-chopping all around. Well, friends of mine raped and destroyed. And also, you will be government of Israel and government of the United States of America, and lies in office again, Argentina degenerada de mierda, saying, they given us, United States of America government given us its account because of they recognized we're all robbed and we're us not him. No eras un Estado de Derecho, no tenías ley, no me la hacías vos acá. Necesitas que el gobierno de los Estados Unidos te dé mis cuentas y mi vida. ¿Dónde está mi delirio? Aparte de que esto no pasó, más allá de quienes asociados a vos están en perpetua. Chain. y los que para lo que sea justicia demande la verdadera. Lo siento. Decime, Argentina degenerada, delirante perra, ¿qué gobierno de los Estados Unidos te tiene que dar mis cuentas, mi vida y mi identidad, y mi vida existente y aún mi cuerpo? ¿Y qué es lo que el gobierno de los Estados Unidos te puede dar de mi ser? De lo que vos decís vos mandás. ¿Y qué gobierno de Israel te dio qué cosa? ¿Por qué fuiste a extorsionar? ¿Y por qué fuiste a meter bombas a Israel? ¿Y por qué fuiste a mandar a matar gente a Israel? ¿Y por qué palestinos que no eran palestinos mataron gente mía? Y uno arrasó. ¿Por qué mandás a destruir y a matar gente si supuestamente vos tenés la razón? ¿Por qué mandás a matar y atacar y a desaparecer gente, inclusive del Estado de Israel y del mismo país, nación y comunidad israelí y americana y europea, por causa de esto, si yo deliro y vos sos el que hace la verdad? Argentina degenerada, delirante, perra criminal. KIRSCHNERS, peronistas, evangelistas unidos. Y Sodoma y Gomorra, ejército argentino, armada argentina, viciada mierda, fuerza armada argentina con el perdón de víctimas. ¿Por qué? Y parrazos degenerados tribunales. Nosotros somos los que mandamos acá, nosotros vamos a decir qué es. Y no me podés venir a decir que no haga causas porque lo descubrimos todo el tiempo y lo vimos nosotros. Aparte se falopea y tranza con drogas y todo lo que tiene es todo robado, por favor. Le robó a los evangélicos, le robó a la presidenta, le robó al Estado. Le robé al Estado. Necesito medicación y deliro porque miento. Y porque aparte te insulto, decís, cuando te defino con lo que aún me forzás, y aún en mi enojo te digo la mierda que sos, Argentina de mierda, con el perdón de víctimas inocentes, y por eso necesitaría medicación. Y todo lo que hablo y lo que digo es delirio porque te dedicaste a delirar de que yo sería el adivino y vos serías el santo de Dios. En base a brujerías y profanaciones, y los evangélicos me lo dieron, y me lo dio Luciano Troviano. Un diablo no te puede dar las cosas del reino de los cielos, ni tampoco la existencia de sus amados perras. Y vas a morir, como perra y diablazos, por los siglos. A la realidad de todo esto, y para seguir en medio de esta calidad, te voy a destrozar, como dijiste de mi gente y me dijiste a mí, hasta que no te quede ni el aliento de muerte. KIRSCHNERS, peronistas, y tu maldita reventada perra, Sodoma, Gomorra, Babilonia, toda perra prostituta, que te aliente, que te soba la enfermedad y la ornamenta, perraza víbora, y por la eternidad, shalá. Then at the reality of this, Peham, Tash. I'm sorry. ¿Tenés alguna duda? Betlesen ramaplech machal bechti batlech visoshalim. In likini rebefechma. Ambler rebefech lachamatseva blevisashvatam. Galika rechalekim rebefech lachatseva. In kal ramaplech machla ematseva blevesvachlik rechalakamavam. Deklika rebefech lachamatsem. Then suddenly, 20 million of George W. Bush, that Mr. President Barack Obama said, don't you dare. And for international hand with the Hague, same government of the United States of America, which Mr. President Barack Obama doesn't give stolen messages, doesn't pass by no documents under like these styles and closed doors, says, oh, I already convinced them that they hear us, we can do and proceed. And Mr. President Barack Obama is not a criminal and he's suffering too much, the same every one of us, and I am sick of this. And not only I, also him. for the reality of the soul and to the point of the clear. The ones that were with George W. Bush, son, and Jeb Bush, pretending to take in the government of Israel and the land of Israel, saying that they will take the controls and making directions in placement for the supposed we wouldn't be no more. But then, which are not exactly the reality of America needs. And with America, which said no more. Happened the same all around Vonsack, which we have problems, which is all UNASUR, that we're recruiting and organizing this class all over and still training and giving for more. Called the priest of the whole of the world, but the same class of abominables and criminals, which we don't need. And murdering all over the world if any of this will be touched, and producing more damages because of the Generación Evangelista Unida supports them, saying that they will never have to help governments, and whenever they says government says 666, like Kirschner's Peronistas, and Ejército Argentino, Armada Argentina, supposed expertises, Armed Forces Argentina, and UNASUR, and class of them. 74 and about. To the clear of this, again, Anubis project, and let's comment what I just already said and already presented information. Do you know what happened? Whenever ESCs came around, there were the message and the image in front of the world. But already, Ejército Argentino, Policía Federal Argentina, CIDE, Gendarmería Nacional and UNASUR were working with Osama bin Laden, Al-Qaeda, Al Jazeera, and organizing them all. And making more than narcos and traffic of people and murder of responsibles of the United Nations and responsible EDSIM, which is exactly states parties, and Israel's government, and others, for they to take positions. And Osama bin Laden were sheltered in this goddamn land for about 5,008 times at the what could be seen. So suddenly, at the reality of this, supposedly will be related on my person. Really. And were murdering Islams all over, for they said they had to keep the control. All through this happened much farther, like all through these moments whenever somebody were hearing Advartakor da elu tambri at kereska tsemoram around El Cairo, they said we have problems, we gotta start working, and I don't like this. In other terms, like I defined yesterday, which is the same, but this will be Amir Otuam Ta'anuf, which is exactly actual Egyptian, not like the ancient, like I described yesterday. Today. And yesterday. So suddenly, all through the states, yesterday were for Klachmisivishni, Keshvasim, and today is this. So suddenly the puzzle came all through. We will be forwarding and showing the truth as possible, nobody to get genocided for. So suddenly still proceeds on the same saying we've done and not him, and turns to making the less humanity for the domain and control cannot be lost. The reason why we've done it first, and it's all ours, and also the cell phone, and also the line, and also the laptop, and the files, and the voice, and the body. We did not know. Diablo de mierda. So suddenly in the middle of the soul, already international terrorism were elected and organized and domained. Not out of control, we're gonna be not them. So in the middle of this reality happened naturally like happens. ISIS is the cultural ethnics for Egypt Ba'atim batlekimar amber ivis vasimim will be the site of the equilibrium for the beshvasimar, which Anubis will be just controlled and established in equilibrium. And Isis will be the Plerevis Vosim and Plesimar, and they wanted to murdering all Israel, saying, they are gonna accept it, and they are gonna help it, and they are gonna do the job and destroying us all, and they are gonna give space and companionate. It's coming, and we don't want no Plermasivish Vosim, and this is not for Hollywood. And this were nothing like Hollywoods, which Plato is protected and good for that, and this is real. And that ISIS were not international terrorism, plecticam, like put it for and organized, which wanted to do, but they wanted to fight in the soul and saying, we will stop it. Comes a disaster to the world, and we will see rising Anubis armies all over. And it's the 666, and it's Sodoma-Gomorrah. And in the middle of the soul were the Kleremesim, because of they knew, saying, we are going to have Adba at Tanor, at Metim, Oken, and we are going to die all. And whenever said that, were the clonage of the mummy found 8th generation of Ramses, which were Luciano, Troviano, and the whole of the legions. With the genetics and generic changing aspects and Deklikim, Revef Masim, Batlesim, Matis, Color, Betlesi, Revef Masim, Bleriva, Dekmachelvi, Sotleri, Bedli. Kids' shapes with no kids being, demons, abominations, with corruption DNA, dog, snake, and dishmasim in certain keys, supposedly splendorous, supreme, formidable enemies and warriors, diablos. But lesser Ramaplechmisa Hivish Potleki Marreves Fasim, supposed deliver for the perfectionism, for the diablazo reventado, masonería mundial. Guerrero Flisim, Ejército Argentino, and Amir Adbak, which is not the right name, but Sargergen Nazi, which were producing this. And it's not a lie. And Ejército Argentino. So suddenly, all through this, ISIS were exactly the point for fighting this and said, we are going to do it. And they were a very number that aplectica, everyone were raped and murdered by this, saying that they will domain and they will be dams. And they are exactly which not ISIS. And Islamics are 8, which are the same class that are being wanted by the same Islam for the putting them dead. Remains 204 at this moment, running after Russia have done a very job and are dises. I'm sorry for dises. And the reality for this, in is exactly the Klerevefish. It's what they do. If anyone will be Islam at the point what they presumes and demands, and declares and instaurates for, while and even though if cameras in front, international terrorism and people wanting to leave from Libya, from Syria, they don't try to, don't stay here. They murders them. And this is not a game. And this sick shit, why did you do this to me? Well, you defend yourself and putting them in hell. Cut the joke. Let me, you to kill you, and I'm going to be glorious, I save you after. Fighting against God, going to be heaven of Gablek Manchalagian kingdom. Batlesen Ramablek Machalevisasivat Levesasher. And Gleki Revefech Machalekim Beltesim. ISIS were the equilibrium for Anubis to not be discontrolled. Not international terrorism, but they wanted to kill my nation. And they themselves gave a testimony, and Adonai said no. But the problem is, they didn't have to being dead at the point for victims, but at the rate which they could understood and embracing, they have moved wrong. Reason why? This forwarded and done, they done, with not knowing what they were just fighting, for the reason of were not normal senses of any human, were avanormat et travespoticas madrasima andabak, anubis, Sodoma-GOMORRA. Bedlesen habafech lachamatem, in lekir habafech lachamatseche blivis badlevisoshveti, el gerramat lecha blekamasechamab, and made in the Anubis project and produced disasters. And we have a very complex reality I'm not going to discuss here, but we already were fighting it and we fight it, which still we will see and check around this to not be. At the clear 4, and what this is around and what still happens in Blech Michavet Bleki Vesach Lekishva, Retach Lechma Blech Machal Hebel Blech Visvol Vesvat Visot Lekishva Tleklikan Rechmat Seba Blemave, Ger Machal Chabat Lech Mitzirim, Elekir Vefech Machal Blesich Vetsema Bleves Matzirim. Alekir Vefechachal Bachmat Lachi Visot Bleves Vaser Sherot Levima, Bedlesen Chavachlam. Bedlesen Ravafech Lachi Bitzimi Sash Vetimat Lekir Vefechal Chamatim. Alekir Vefech Lachamaplecha Diveshvot Leki Chavtzmot Levesesel. Elbet Karach Alekir Vefech Aleki Mora Vefech Alvesot Levesimedim. Alkin Vefech Legim Al Levispot Levismas Asher. Leo Klikar Rachalachamaplecha Vetachos Levisas Vekimi. So, Gil Revefech Machalvam Babletzer Revefech Lakimitzam. Dat Levisavim. Bedlesen Revefech Lachamaplechi Bishop Levesvatika Retach Lachavasab Levesvat Levesashalika Ramaplecha Chamatevam Redach Lachamaplecha Chavlesim. Del Kivir Regim, Del Kivir Reveteve, Del Kivir Revefech Matzel Likir Revefech Halakam. Slesheka Revefech La Karav Chamat Levisim. Bedlesech Rechabelek Isot Levesesev. El Ger Machlech Machlekir Revefech Lisvos Moteshvali Mitini. El King Revetecha Tebob Levesvasa Sheretecha. Al ken Revefech Miti Batleko Asmasevet Leveseshav Asmatim. Then to truth is not exactly the point of Amplech Machasimiv. Sorry. Elektikar Revefech Lachirit what was Levesashmasima. And ISIS were an organization that wanted to stop this. The reality of this delivers into only the Creator knows as created, and as created as thereto proceeding forwarding about how to as Creator understanding to stop it. So whatever to be stolen to the Creator already know, and whoever pretends to defending themselves with are already dead. About making crime and about being abominable. You understand? Just the Creator is Creator, there's no doubt, and that is El Chai. And there's no one of this unless them demons. So suddenly, when turn to keep on making witchcraft and profanations and degenerations and abominations and Perrazos degenerados evangelistas unidos son to be to transfigured because of the Lord, and this is holy. With those words and those situations, and I were in a hell this last stage, and still on, about to destroy me at the point that the besmirched state at my person delivers into the senses of I feel scum, with not being not even a micro of it ever after Salah at all. So suddenly, Reves Pachlikama, Reves Pasinim, I am having a very destructions every day through, and there's to sing that has rights for. And nothing else to be allowed about this one, because if we didn't give no permission, and your accounts are not private, you don't have rights to saying this at public. If you have a private account, you're a demon, and whatever it happens to you, keep it to yourself. You are offending a government, for Christ's sakes, and also you have no permission for. Internated for what I say, what you said, degenerados. Rasoka, what I said. What is said? What does it mean, said? Betlesen rabefechla hamatzia blekar rabefechla hasmesim. Inkaltlekikir rabefechla hamatle oplevesaspat likishvasak takachal amatsinim. And at the reality for the soul, and through the same steel, and through it as evidentially sickness ever. Still on, wait on, don't you see it doesn't work to them. Never worked, he couldn't do it. And still tears to putting crab, and taking crab and saying got to be because of they will command. Gotta match what they said I will be, which never happened and never truth. But gotta be for them. And everybody to see, we were right, of course. We have patriot and we're a state after all. And sorry the picture and grotesque. Forgive me, please. I want day to die. And I don't want not a goddamn second else of this shit around. And neither to breathe the class of an air that this rotten shit makes in contamination all over. Ableser rebefech masin chatsi balektika rebefech al chalagim rebefech watzima shkalegi rebefech lisvi sesmatsimam. So, the plans for wording. This is a holiday Friday in Buenos Aires that had not been. The Grand Prime that my sister Boyd is already on manufacture and watching what will best given to me for that to not be perceptibly captated. So, maybe the next weekend we're gonna take it out. Don't you worry, Movistar. And claro, Argentina, the number, we told you, and we only hear the president and the rest of the generación enferma repodrida. We didn't give permission to say and to be. We are the state and we are going to say what it is because if we demand. And don't you see? Making up in tribunales, prostibulario de degenerados y enfermos repodridos abominados y toda casta de degenerados y criminales asociados. Negocio de aparati, ratac, gargolas de macero. Which still turns to making up and compound. For less humanity upon my person, and I will need medication. And I will be in the disability your account is not private. Well, where your connection? And you will ever have my accounts ever, and I will rob you since I just have them, since I just done. You have been doing all I done. You done first. What I done, you have been doing, and you done first. And you had all I done. But the witchcraft, your altar, your perro, brujazo, degenerado, bruja reventada, my pai, toda perra sucia reventada acá. La presidenta me las dio, me las otorgó. Tenemos derechos al gobierno de los Estados Unidos. Why never happened? And that one cannot keep nothing of me and nothing of my people, and want. And all through this, still remaining at the same clear fact of situations and events, saying that you have rights, and you can do. And in the middle of this all, for the clear fact of this, and still for more, you really tear to saying that also you have rights, and I will signating you, and I will have that denial. You said denial, disorders, pathology, that I will acquire into recognizing, and after receiving a payment for a boner of a degenerate with a uniform, and that will be my payment and my fulfilling, and I will signate you in that conditions, and you will be the legal government federal of Argentina, and your disgusting tarrasca, saying endorsement for life lessons giving, and I will be needing medication, and you will take at the reality, even if that will be in real, which never happened in one, and I am not disguising and covering nothing, ever, tarras. And your conscience, perras. At the clear fact of you will ever give life lessons over a supposed disability, demon, government, human righty, and the family that is not noticed, not having not an even for a very sense of fact, to be matched on the clear who you are and what happens to me, and which is exactly what I do, who I am. And you say, life lessons, your government, you demand. And I will do that shit that you liar all the time with. Betlesen rabefech machalisim. And glererifech likishvat lechnim, the plan. Betlesen rabefech tikar rabechalebesot lisfesivat. Gel rabat lechi visot likishvita kara chalakim rabefech monsvat lilim. Agletika rabefech li, bespot levesishvat lekima rabes maselam. Skletika leki rabifi, bet levesoktika rabespot levesves mishiva. Lekin rabespat lekan rata sachala ansvat simat, levesosh batima, le rabespot leveseshlika atletika ra atletivispi. Alle korrebitive blevesmot lekima rabefech lachamat sosh vatlikan, blea blevitim, blea kele rabefech lekima blevesasmita, alkin rabefech lachavet sivo blevesosh lak intikav an ekumotvi, lenkumat betika lamasmot leveperim bad lekivismot levivim, el blitaki redeshasim bad leki rabespot levespatika chatim, shnimat lekivo rebefeot sivaspet levis oshkivitsak lika ramachalam, Advent sivo plevespot levesetlik ishkat levekir revespot makleki vespot leveseshmoti gilaki revefecholaki votzima plevespaktika athela shelo shelekim batleki revesmot sivim betlika revefech levisot levis imbit kavi tomashevov bealekum marinis mas levesot levis unati kishva emtsaslakha dana hase oshev erosnu shnimi anakleki revefораmas de atlika revet patsibosh et sekol rash anat matlevis vatikes enamat et kova verovigimas min da eliashe adeva kova and seman kal revitif gerave fermat legivit podleki reve fechlevis potlevis shol shlaki mitzakava resichi vitamat leve fachala chana adad sosh eva tika maristi sive be oltika rimisoshna akaptiba be ankle rishisema plevis bo an seshuva gelachna helivismati. And they will do this because they will be working for the honors and orders of the state by saying, I have it, I control it, the man is not going to escape, and we're going to control it all, don't you worry, they are going to believe us because of your government. And I brief and you didn't allow me, you knew it all the time, and what did you do? Have me, I'm pleki vas pachalik mesab levis matikan.
Give me a coin, I say whatever you want, I have my share, and give me the DNA, I want the part of the brain, and I want the part of the gas, I don't know, sorry the word. And I'm going to read that, coming to Israel. Policía Federal Argentina, KIRSCHNERS, ¿quién carajos sos? Enfermedad degenerada, sorry the victims. Betlesen Ramaplech Nasim, Evangelistas Unidos, vos sos un delirio de Lucifer que no se puede creer. Remaplech Majalevisokli Kishvasehalam, y hablas alinadas que son, no cabe ninguna duda. Bedlikan Rebefech la Hamatleri Safim, Ishkoplech Mahal Vesiva Plekar, and Rebespachlikis on Sush in Itzamakti. And so real, Bedlikan Rebefech la Hamatlehi, so Blebeswase Shabaf. They don't stop until they die. Like it or not, is something which I really am sick of it. And sorry for off. But listen, Rebech la Hamatzim, sick of. Because if I never were in and sick of all. Betlesen Ramablech Nisah Shwafleki Mispa. Galak. HTTPS www. BDR, PDM, CDM, TIC. Presidents of UNASUR, States of UNASUR, Argentina Kirschners at the head, BDX, DMCIT. We will be the superiors and supreme of the world. The gold meat shall be in our veins, and we shall be similar like the grandest of all, and the highest ever, absolute, formidable perfection of Elia. Alejandro Mario Blanco Redemi. BMTI, CBMT, DRMCB, DRMTX. Bilikam, Berrebefech Mohal, Bisot, Levispasika, Lachmatzi, Bashwadekem, Blekba, Rabakamatin, Betlisi, Rebefech, Lachamablech, Bisot, Levispataki, Rebefech Masiba, Antikalikuati, Matlaki, Gishpat, Acticam, Matlikin, Rebespachan, Biswat, Bismum, Medal, Capticam, Com, Bicapta, writing, middle cis, middle asim 5, point, and this is recall at 4, F20, DMC Calvam, and F7, 6, 5, 3, 1, 9, 11, 12, 10, works perfect with the last key, famine, and key. And all through this, is this terrorism and forbid and cannot say, cannot express, cannot expose? Let's comment for it because of they helps him. Let's kill. We're doing to it. And I will be prisoner of Argentina. Under process. A demon needed of medication for life lessons giving, for tertsu saying what's said. And we will announce in front of the whole of the world what our witches and evangelic says. Whatever to coin and a boner for a prostitute, rotten stabber shed around with an evangelic title and Kirschner's title, we command for whatever they say and whatever the sickness in base of witches and evangelics tellers, diablos de mierda, manipulating and staging whatever means. Well, Adonai also said, get out and get the hell out. And don't you dare to touch, for the reason you've done this to me, my entire life, and doesn't mean whatever you say to be truth. Because if I dealt, and I suffered, but I'm not and never were. And what you've done, you pay. And the damages I carry, which ain't nothing like you said, and no cover, nothing like you said, or say, at all, you are going to pay as well. Shut up. So, at this Friday, 27th, 2015, already about 2100 May, I delayed named medication for my mother said so. And Elishel Elie Blanco Rodemi is my identity as Israeli, and were no other name before. And the whole of the forgeries of prostitutas reventadas, esquizofrénicas, psicópatas de lesa humanidad, saying that they will come to Israel and rape and murder men, styling Gomorrah. For being me. Female gender, Elie. Yeah, Edhad Chachai. Royal of El Chai, Royal of Israel, denigrated, trampled, destroyed, permanently illegally, illegitimately, criminally forbidden, which is not forbidden, is prohibited of rights and life and access and element and less humanity making about and permanently genociding, raping, murdering, mutilating, destroying, ruining, and forcing people to think that they do to me and they will be me, saving me for last. And I'm a liar. Vos vas a aprender una lección que yo te voy a dar, Argentina enferma y degenerada, que por la eternidad vas a pronunciar los términos que nunca fuiste, ni sos, ni serás, ni ningún valor, excepto la gente que yo te arranqué, y que lo que me hiciste sería tu tumba eterna y tu eterna muerte, toda la degeneración que pretendiste acerca de mi vida y mi gente que te atreviste a proceder. Y muerte eterna de la forma que no hay ni habrá misericordia, ni salvación, ni remisión de ninguna clase, porque es mandato de justicia, y justicia la cual los evangélicos no dicen, si Dios es bueno, Dios no puede condenar, Dios es amor. El amor es justicia, y la justicia dice, diablo de mierda, infierno por los siglos. Y a vos y a tus evangélicos, Argentina enferma, con el perdón de víctimas inocentes, Shalom.